Hello and welcome. You are joining me for Papercrafting Playdate today. My name is Robin Armbrecht with Really Robin Stamps. Thank you so much for being here. Today is Friday, May 28th, 2021. And whether you're joining me live or you are catching this later on the replay, I am so glad that you are joining me and that you want to learn something about paper crafting and playing with all those beautiful papers and colors that we have. So today's projects are all about words and greeting sentiments in the new in colors. So let me show you what we have on my table. All right, let me get that tightened up there. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. Yay. All right. All right, so look at these beautiful in colors. This is the designer series paper that coordinates with the 5 new in colors. And hold on one second, I am trying to find you. There we go. Perfect. Now I can see your comments. Great. So these are new. These are only about not quite a month old. And I thought it would be really fun if we worked with words today. So I'm going to focus on these 2 stamp sets, Biggest Wish and Create with Friends. And I decided to give myself some parameters with these projects because I have so many things to play with. And yeah, I'm still overwhelmed with all the new things I have in the catalog. So I decided I'm going to just kind of narrow my focus. I'm going to use just these 2 stamp sets today. I'm going to use, make 5 cards with the card base being the cardstock that is one of the new in colors. And then I'm going to use all of these papers that have these 2 designs on my card, and then I took these papers that have these 2 designs and I just cut out a bunch of stuff ahead of time. So let me just show you what I did. So I think this is something that you can do that'll just kind of help get you going. So I went ahead and I took all of the butterfly dies, except for the largest one. I laid them all out onto one of these pieces and I cut them all out. So I've got like 7 butterflies of every color in the designer series paper. And then with what was left over, because that only took up about this much room, with what was left over, I took my flowers and leaves punch with my Friendship and Flowers stamp set, and I punched out flowers in all of the designer series paper colors. Oh, that's a butterfly. And then I had a little bit of room left over, and so I punched out, I just basically used up one whole sheet and I punched whatever I could. So I've got little dragonflies in here, I've got the little bitty leaves in here, I've even got some ovals. So I just kind of thought, well, this will get me ready. I'll have all these embellishments ready to use whenever I'm using a new in color. So let me show you what I mean. Put that aside. Let's do our first card. So my other parameter today was that I was going to use these new Color Coach cards that coordinate with the new in color. So this is something that Stampin' Up! Put together. I will have a PDF of this that you can download on my blog later. But they're just little cards. There's one for each in color, and you get 3 what am I trying to say? You get 3 colors, 3 different choices to try using the same in color. So I decided to go with this color combination here. And so that puts together Pale Papaya, Balmy Blue, and Old Olive. Hello, Miss Lisa. How are you today? Happy Friday. So, like I said, I'm going to use these. This is my card base. I'm going to use this piece to pull in that designer series paper, and then I'm going to use the suggested colors as my accent pieces. All right, so let's get started and let's use the Create with Friends stamp set first. And this is going to be a layering piece on my card front. So I'm going to bring in the inks in these same colors. We're going to start with Balmy Blue. And here is one thing that you can do with a greeting stamp set. So I'm going to take this little happy right here. I think my camera's sliding. Hold on. There we go, I think. Let's see. There we go. All right. Hello, Bonnie. Hello, Carol. Thanks for joining me. All right, so I've pulled out the happy stamp. And one of the things you can do with words is just create a background. So only the edges of this piece are going to show. So I'm going to just do some stamping. I'm going to stamp 3 times for each time I ink it. And I'm just going to keep my stamp oriented the same way. And I'm just going to move it around and kind of create a background. So stamping 3 times. And I'm just going to go around the edge because that's the only part that's going to show. So I'm going to get different values of that Balmy Blue ink color by stamping it 3 different times, like that. Okay, so that's going to be my background. Let's make a greeting. So I'm going to use the word celebrate, and then I'm going to use the words let's and you. So let's celebrate you. So there's let's. And here is you. And here's celebrate. So I'm going to bring in Memento Black. I'm going to stamp on this little piece of Whisper White here. Hello, Stacy. What's everybody doing today? Leave me a comment. Tell me what you're doing. It's raining here in Springfield, Illinois. So it's kind of actually chilly. Not in a bad way, but it's kind of chilly and damp. How about you guys? All right, so now I'm going to take let's and put that up here. Oh, I can't even go there today. I'm not going to try to fix that. Let's just flip it over. And do it again. That's why we have 2-sided paper. There we go. And then let's do the U down here. All right, so this is going to be our greeting. And I went ahead and did my homework. I just have to show you this. I took all the images that come into this Create with Friends stamp set, and I just played with it just to see how many different kinds of combinations could I come up with these different greetings. And there's so many. So I'm actually doing this Let's Celebrate You here. And then what I'm going to do to keep this color combination going on my greeting, since I just stamped it in black, I'm going to use one of the new watercolor shapes from this stamp set. This is the first time I've used it today. So I'm so excited about this. This reminds me of a stamp set we had 20 years ago at Stampin' Up. It was one of my favorite ones ever. Does anybody know which one I'm talking about? I don't even know what it was called. It was like something shapes, and it just had one circle, one square, one rectangle, and one triangle, I think. and we used it on everything. I probably still have it somewhere in my closet. I don't know. Anybody remembers the name of that one? It was a tiny little stamp set of 4. Anyway, when I saw this in the new catalog, I was super excited because Little Shapes. Thank you, Stacy. Little Shapes. Yes. Do you still have that one, Stacy? I was so excited because this is along the same lines, but even better because we have those nice distinctive images now where we're going to get different values of the ink when we stamp. So let me show you what I mean. So this is just the circle. I'm going to stamp that over there, and then I'm going to clean it off. And then I'm going to stamp it in blue. Stacy, of course you still have it. Yeah. It's hard to get rid of something so good. Actually, I think you can get rid of it now if you get this one, because this one is 100 times better than that very first one. Look how cute that is. Boom. That's all you need to do is those 3 circles. All right, so let me show you how I mounted this. I'm not going to put all the cards completely together. I just want to show you really, we're focusing on the greetings today, right? So these were the pieces we just stamped, showing you how to make a background with the same image. And I guess what I forgot to mention is what I love about greetings is when you coordinate them together to kind of like enhance your message or have a secondary message, right? So the first greeting or sentiment that is going to hit you on this card is let's celebrate you, but then layered underneath is the word happy, right? And it just kind of is like a little secondary greeting. We're going to finish this little greeting off, this little focal point with some of these new little flowers, little flower shapes, I think they're called. And since the main part of my card is going to focus on the pale papaya color, we'll put these on. So we'll put one here. And then we'll put one here. So again, my card base is going to be pale papaya. So I kind of wanted 3 pale papaya, pops of color on front. So I kind of put them next to the other colors just to kind of tie that pale papaya up. All right, let me show you what I mean. Here's the finished card. Let's see if you can see that. Whoops. There we go. So what I did to finish this card is I took this piece of designer series paper that has this cute plaid on the front and these little flowers on the back, and I cut 2 of these contoured scallop dies on there, but I did one on one side and one on the other side so that I would have 2 different versions of the scalloped, and then I just put my little greeting on there. The other thing that I did was run this piece through the textured embossing folder just to give it a little more texture. So that's kind of how you use a little color coach, is you kind of take those ideas and you try to pull those colors together. So it's really nice to have something like this, especially when these are color combinations that I wouldn't necessarily pick on my own. I have a very limited amount of imagination, I guess, with colors. So I would tend to put together the same color combinations that are I guess safe is the right word, or the word that comes to mind at least. So this stretches you, because I would not automatically think of putting those colors together. All right, so there's our first card using the Create with Friends, just putting together a basic greeting, and we're focusing on pale papaya. So let's move on and let's bring in our next featured color, which is going to be the new Evening Evergreen. Oh my goodness, you guys, my camera keeps just sliding down. I am so sorry. Hold for just a second and let me just get that Let me just see if I can fix that a little bit better. All right, let's see. Maybe. All right, so I decided to go with this color combination right here, which is Evening Evergreen, Cajun Craze, and Petal Pink. Isn't that pretty? Again, I wouldn't automatically jump to those colors, so this is great to just really kind of stretch you out of your comfort zone. So for this card, I'm going to bring in the Biggest Wish stamp set, and we're going to use the thanks in the bold, chunky font in the uppercase, and then we're going to use the thanks in the cursive font. So this is a fun set because you get the exact same greetings in 2 different fonts, and you can layer them together in all different ways. So here are my ink colors. And here's my greeting. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stamp. Maybe, oh, here it is. All right, so we're going to take our Evening Evergreen, and we're going to take the cursive font, and we're going to stamp it on one of these stitched rectangles, like that. So this is a great stamp set if you want to do shadow stamping. I'll link that video down below if you're watching this on YouTube later, to do shadow stamping with something that has kind of a solid greeting like this. You stamp it once, and then you just move it over, and you stamp it again without re-inking it, and so you get that second generation of color, and then you get this really pretty little shadow next to your first image, and it just gives your word a lot of depth very easily. So that's going to be the focal point. This is going to be the card front. So let's take the chunky thanks and let's make a background. So we're going to use the 3 colors here from our color coach, and we're going to stamp them in rows and make stripes. So when you do that, so I'm just going to go across. Here's my Cajun Craze. So you just pick one spot and start, and then you clean your stamp, and then you take the next color, and then you pick a different spot to start, like that, and then you clean it. I'm kind of purposefully not pressing super hard because I kind of like on this background how it's making this kind of like, looks like it's already aged with the words. Looks kind of vintagey because some of the ink isn't sticking, it's staying on my stamp. All right, so now I've got those 3 rows, so I'm just going to repeat. So I'll go back to the Cajun Craze, pick a spot. So it's kind of like layering bricks. Like that. And then you really just have to finish off those 2 rows like that. So that's Petal Pink. And this one is the Evening Evergreen. All right, so we've got our little vintagey background. So that's one thing you can do with words. Words in the background always look amazing. So when I put this card together, oh, we're going to use this little guy too. Look at these cute this little background that's right here. Hello, Jolene. Hello, Phyllis. Welcome. We're going to use these little art marks here, and we're going to just put a little background on that greeting. I'm going to do one in each color, just to kind of tie the 3 colors together. So these are the 3 colors. All right, so let me show you what the finished card looks like. I took some of my butterflies that I cut out in the Evening Evergreen, and I added them to some little rectangular blocks like that. So these are stitched, all part of the stitched rectangle family. And so I just took different size blocks and put them together to create that card. Kind of cool. again, I wouldn't necessarily put those colors together, but when I did, I was like, that's pretty neat. This would be a great, also when we get into like fall and the end of summer, putting the petal pink and the Cajun craze together and then a little pop of green. That's a nice fall combination. All right, so here's another card that just has a chunky background like that. There's happy all in the background and then happy birthday embossed on top. This is the Bumblebee Designer Series paper, just to kind of give you another idea how these can go together. All right, so obviously, I'm trying to show you some different ways to use these stamps, because let's just stamp on the scratch paper here. This is the kind of the basic obvious way, is to take a lighter color and stamp your greeting, and then to take another, we'll just use the same word, but you could take another word like the word friend or whatever, and to stamp that over or behind it, so you've got two greetings layered together. So thanks, thanks, like that. So that's kind of, to me, like the obvious way to use these, and I could stamp that way all day long and never ever get tired of it. I love using the greetings. All right, so let's do our next in color. Put these guys away. Jolene, I love the shadow technique too. I feel like I shouldn't forget about it because it's just such an easy little way to add just a little bit something special. Okay. I have 5 piles for each card and apparently am not organized. So again, let's just take a look at those. All the different greetings you can create with this Create with Friends stamp set. All right, we're gonna do the next green here, our soft succulent. So here is our card base and our Designer Series paper. And then with a color combination, can you guess which one I picked? I went with this one to add some mint, macaron, and rich raspberry. So that is what we're gonna do for this card. So let me pull out these ink colors. Here is our mint and rich raspberry. That's true. Jolene says that she's never tried it before, but she's never had the clear blocks on her stamp. So that does make it harder if you've got the wooden blocks. But you can kind of get a feel for it too, especially if you practice with a wooden block. You can like stamp it and just move it over a tiny bit, and you know it turns out okay even with a wood block. But you're right, the clear ones make it so much easier. Okay, so I've got one of the Tastefully Simple labels here, and we're going to use the word amazing, and then we're going to pull in the word friend from here and the word hello. These are best friends. Please don't buy them like separately because they need to live together. They are very happy together. So let me move that up. All right, so here is the greeting. All right, so we're going to stamp amazing in our Memento Tuxedo Black. Like that. And then we're going to take the word friend in the mint macaron. I'm going to stamp it off once to just get a lighter value, and I'm going to go right over the top and stamp the word friend, amazing friend, and then we're going to take the little word hello in the rich raspberry, and we're going to stamp hello right there. So now we've got two of our three colors there. So let's take our blending brush, and we're just going to give the white a little border like that. This is the soft succulent that I'm putting around the edge. So this will kind of show both of the greens together with the rich razzleberry. So what I wanted to do on this card was to pull in one of the flowers. And then I wanted to kind of coordinate a little bit with, to add another pop of rich razzleberry. So one of the things that you can do is color your rhinestones. I do this all the time. And it's really easy to do. You can just take your, let's move these. Take your Stampin' Blend, because it's an alcohol marker. You can color on things other than paper, and it'll air dry. So you can color whatever color you have and make your rhinestones whatever color you need. So we'll do rich razzleberry on a little flower like that. So that would coordinate and bring another pop of color to this tag here. That's going to be the focal point. So let me show you how the card comes together. I had to use my other two best friends. So these are best friends because they go together, right? Well, I feel like these two sets go together too. So I used these last week with my project. So I love this tag set, and I love this border die set. So I used the zigzag, and then I used this big tag because this ornate edge kind of mimicked this little edge on this focal piece. And so when I put it all together, there's the pop of the razzleberry in three different little places there. And we've got our mint and our soft succulents. And we've got our three colors. Yeah, I definitely like it stamped off better. I think that's a better balance on that one. So layering these together is amazing. All right, so look what I've done here. So this, I cannot keep my camera up today. I don't know. It must be tired. Must be tired like I am on the end of the work week there. Okay, so here is the Biggest Wish stamp set. I took each chunky word, and then I put it with the scripty words and just tried to come up with all the different combinations that I could with this particular one. But the cool thing is, if you put these together, then you've got even more choices. So I took the small images, these extra words, and I put them with this stamp set. And then I was able to just kind of even extend the greetings even more, because we've got the word together, and we've got hello, happy, best friend ever, thanks to you, happy together, best friend, hello you. I mean, there's just so many little choices there. So that is super fun. Okay, next one. Here's a monochromatic, by the way. Here's the first one I tried before I brought in the Color Coach. I just made this out of soft succulent and evening evergreen, and I thought that looked really pretty too. Very simple. Okay, number 4. Number 4 is going to be out of Positively Pink. I am not going to not call it that name. I'm so sorry. Polished Pink. I made the mistake one time, and now it's stuck in my head. Yeah, we used to have an old color called Positively Pink, and it was a little more orangey for sure than this color, but that is sticking in my head. But this is Polished Pink, and the color combination that I picked out was this one right here, which is Polished Pink, Blushing Bride, and Smoky Slate. And I thought that was pretty together. So let's just do some more stamping of multiple greetings on the words. There's that. So what I mean is, let's take our polished pink and our smoky slate, and we're going to stamp a strip that goes up on top of the card, or vertically on the card. So I'm going to take the word hello, and I kind of cut the paper to be the same size as this greeting. So I'm going to not start in the middle, and I'm going to do that repeated stamping again, but this time it's on designer series paper, and you can see that even with regular ink colors, you can stamp on designer series paper as well. So I'm just kind of doing every other one inked, and then this other one is like the second generation of that. Then on those spaces where I did the second generation, I'm going to go back in with the smoky slate and stamp the scripty hello on top of the chunky hello. So that's just going to give us a lot of hellos. So this card greeting is going to be like hello friend. So I'm going to use the word friend as well. And so with our 3 ink colors, I'm going to put all of those colors on the word friend to kind of tie in the pieces to the card. Okay, so here's what I mean. I'm going to stamp it first in the lightest color, which is Blushing Bride. And then I'm going to take the front end of the friend stamp, and I'm just going to lay it like that so I get the front end polished pink, and then I'm going to turn it and do the back end like a letter and a half in the smoky slate, and of course the middle is going to be the Blushing Bride. And then when you stamp it, then you get all 3 colors in your greeting. And so I am so excited. Again, I brought in one of these border dies to put on the card front, and I noticed that this banner's punch has one of the choices is kind of the same. It's not at the exact angle, but it's very close. So it mimics that kind of pointy angle. So I decided to make the greeting match that. So I'm using the punch on this so that I would get that. So let me show you how the card turned out. Here's our smoky slate and our Blushing Bride. And then we've got our colors all tied together here, and I added one of those flowers that I punched out. Again, I colored these with my Stampin' Blend marker so I could get the same color as the card base. We do have new in color jewels, which are beautiful. They are so sparkly and lovely, but this is my only package of them. They're on back order right now, so I am using them very sparingly. So I thought this would be a good time to just color my own rhinestones with my Stampin' Blend. So I was doing that. So there is some more repeated stamping and then making multiple colors on one image. Here's another version of this card that I did. I just played with, put it a little bit more gray in there instead of the Blushing Bride for just another idea. Super fun. All right, I've got one more for you. So let me put this away and bring out the next color. But you know what, before I do that, I have to show you guys something. This is on, if you go to StampinuP.com, this is right there on the first page, and it is a free digital download available to everybody, and it's in celebration of World Diversity Day, and Stampin' Up! Has come up with images that celebrate diversity in all kinds of ways. And because we're a global company and we have demonstrators all over the world, we have now these great little digital images that have all the different languages represented by the countries that where Stampin' Up! Is. So that's so cool. So I just printed mine on regular copy paper to start, just to see. They've kind of put some colors together, but you could totally just print this black and white. You don't have to print it in color. So here's like our Canadian maple leaf with a, you know, how's it going, eh? We've got our apple pie. You're the best thing since sliced bread. Here is the fern from New Zealand. Here's some flowers. I need to do a little more research on this because I don't even know. This is Australian, but I don't know what this is. What if this is a flower? I don't know. This is so pretty. And then we've got these little card fronts. And so there's an image on this little frame for each little country. I think that is so sweet. So you can go download this and then you can pick and choose how you want to print it. So I just printed the first page on my Whisper White, basic white cardstock, so that I was going to color those in and just make a few cards with that to get started. And then I may add my own greetings, or I may cut out these greetings as well. So definitely go do that. That is fun. The other thing you need to know is that this catalog, mini catalog, is January to June. Okay, so since we're coming to the end of May, that means there's only 1 month left in this catalog for most of these items. Some of them have already carried over to the annual catalog. If you have an annual catalog, you'll be able to figure that out. But what Stampin' Up! Has done, and starting June 1st, if they've put a bunch of these items on sale. Some of them are 50% off, so lots of bargains there. So there is this PDF that I will link to as well, so you can print this for yourself, and you can go through the catalog and see what is on sale as of June 1st. So remember, everything is just while supplies last during this last month. So if you something in here you want to go ahead and get that. Okay, I think that was my news before I show you the last card here. All right, so I'm not going to say I saved the best for last, but I did save Fresh Freesia for last. So you can draw your own conclusions there. So here is our card. I went ahead and picked this color combination on my little color coach. So we've got Coastal Cabana and Calypso Coral to add into that. And I'm going to use the Happy and the Birthday from the Biggest Wish stamp set. Okay, so for my greeting, we're going to do something else here. I'm going to take 2 of the 3 colors. This is Calypso Coral and Fresh Freesia. So I'm going to take the word happy, and I'm going to just kind of get half in coral. So I'm just tapping that half, and then I'm going to get half in Fresh Freesia, like that. Now you can stamp it just like that, but you kind of get a harsh line there. So what I'm going to do is use my finger daubers. I'm going to take the purple and just kind of go right up to that line. So I'm basically just wanting to smudge a little bit where those 2 colors meet. Like that. And then when you stamp it, you get this beautiful little blended happy that has both of those colors in there. All right, so now I'm going to clean my stamp off. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to stamp it again right underneath. And so I'm going to do it opposite. So I'm going to do the top of the block in Fresh Freesia and the bottom of the block in Coral. And then I'm going to take the dauber and just kind of smudge that line a little bit. Then I'm going to stamp it again right underneath. So we've got happy, happy. And then we'll take the birthday in black and we'll stamp that right in the middle like that. So now we've kind of got that. It looks kind of not quite rainbowy, but it has kind of that slided color. You could do this with the same, like 2 tones of the same ink color, and you would get kind of an ombre look. So then I cut this out with a circle die, and then I did the scalloped with the Coastal Cabana, and then I finished the card this way. So I used this piece, and I used the very, very largest stitched rectangle, which covers the card front basically, and cut out that big piece of paper, and then put, oops, that guy doesn't want to stay on there. And then I put the some ribbon on there. Let me show you how I did this ribbon. Go back on there. All right, so this kind of folded over ribbon technique. So let's say you want it to be this long. You got to almost figure it's going to be, you're going to need a piece that's almost twice as big. So I just kind of eyeballed it like that. And then if you take tear tape and you add that to your ribbon, obviously do it straight when you do it. So then you've got kind of sticky all along one edge of your ribbon. And so when you put this down on a piece of paper, I'll just show you right here, you can press it down and then you can fold it over and press it again. And then you can fold it over like that. So you get that kind of fun little ribbon effect on the front of your card. And there's a little butterfly to put on there. All right, so these are some ideas of things you can do with the words and the word play. So I will have, later on in my blog, I'm making a PDF of these. It'll be all together, so you can kind of just, download it and save it. If you happen to get these stamp sets, then you will be able to kind of like have a starting point for thinking of how to put some of these greetings together and how to use the words. And of course, the pictures of all these cards will be on the blog. So let me bring them back. I just have a big mess on my desk now. Can I even find the cards? There we go. There's that one. All right. So there are our 5 cards for today, each focusing on one of the new in colors and these great greeting stamp sets. I hope you got some good ideas and are thinking about how you can focus on the greetings and your message and just kind of layer all of those things together to create some really fun but easy cards. Thank you so much for watching today. As always, happy stamping. Bye-bye.